What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be rebuilding the Gold Coast Titans on Rugby League Live 4. Before we start anything, this is our roster. We have Tino Fasuama'awi 91 overall, David Fafita 91 overall, AJ Brimson 84, Moeki Fotuaika 84, Jaden Campbell 83, Bo Famore 83, Kieran Foran 83, Brian Kelly 82, Alofiana Khan Pereira 82, Philip Sami 82, Sam Verrills 82, Aaron Clark 81, Tanner Boyd 80, Isaac Liu 80, Chris Randall 80, Aaron Shoup 80, Jojo Fafita 79, Jimmy Jolliffe 79, Joe Stimpson 79, Cleese Haas 78, Kemba Marlaw 78, Keenan Palacia 78, Harley Smith Shields 78, Isaac Fasuama'awi 77, Keanu Kinney 77, Josiah Pahulu 77, Tom Weaver 77, Jacob Alec 75, Tony Francis 75, and Ryan Foran 70. In round 1 we take on the Redcliffe Dolphins, and this is our lineup. At fullback Jaden Campbell, the wingers Philip Sami and Khan Pereira, the centres AJ Brimson and Brian Kelly, the 5'8 Kieran Foran, Tanner Boyd at halfback, the prop and captain Tino Fasuama'awi, the other prop Isaac Liu, and the hooker Sam Verrills. On the edges Dave Fafita and Bo Famore, with Aaron Clark at lock. On the bench Keanu Kinney, Cleese Haas, Jimmy Jolliffe and Joe Stimpson. In round 1 we pick up a 10-point win over the Dolphins, 24 points to 14, with Philip Sami picking up player of the match. In round 2 we take on the Cronulla Sharks, and the team is pretty much the same except for Cleese Haas starting for the suspended David Fafita, and Chris Randall joins the bench. Moeki Fotuaika is still out with injury. We start off the year 2-0 with a 6-point win over the Cronulla Sharks, 10 points to 4. Alofiana Khan Pereira picks up player of the match. In round 3 we have our toughest challenge yet, taking on the Sydney Roosters. Another change made. Dave Fafita comes back from suspension, replacing Cleese Haas in the starting lineup, who joins the bench replacing Joe Stimpson. We stay undefeated to start the season with a 13-point win over the Sydney Roosters, 19 points to 6. AJ Brimson wins player of the match. We're 10 games into the year and we're sitting at 4th place with 13 points. We have 6 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. We have points for of 162, points against of 118. We have a points differential of 44. Round 4 we lost to the Panthers 12-2. In round 5 we beat the Dragons 24-4. In round 6 we lost to the Tigers 14-2. In round 7 we beat the Raiders 28-8. In round 8 we drawed with the Storm 26-0. In round 9 we lost to the Rabbitohs 30-14. And in round 10 we beat the Cowboys 13-0. Both Tino and AJ Brimson are off contract, but I don't have a lot of money to spend, so I'm going to see if he can try to take a pay cut to stay with us. And he does. Tino re-signs with the Titans. Unfortunately that does mean we have to lose AJ Brimson unless he takes a massive pay cut to stay with us, but he doesn't. He signs for the Parramatta Eels. I'm not going to have enough money to sign Kieran Foran either, and he signs with the Tigers. Hopefully Keenan Palacia can sign this deal, but I don't think he is going to. And he does somehow. Keenan Palacia signs with us. Injuries and suspensions hit us hard in the middle part of the season, but we finished strong. We finished with 37 points, with 16 wins, 1 draw, 7 losses. We have a points for of 456 and a points against of 282, points differential of 174. In the first week of the finals, we take on the New Zealand Warriors, and this is how we look. A fullback, Jaden Campbell. On the wings, Alafiana Khan Pereira and Philip Sami. The centres, Brian Kelly and AJ Brimson. The 5'8", Kieran Foran, Tanner Boyd at halfback. The props, Moeki Fotuaika and Isaac Fasuo-Ma'awi, with Sam Verrills a hooker. On the edges, Dave Fafita and Beau Fermor, with Aaron Clark at lock. On the bench, Chris Randall, Jamie Jolliffe, Isaac Liu and Joe Stimson. Before we get into the finals, the Daily M Awards have been announced. The Daily M Player of the Year is Philip Sami. Junior Turuva and Nathan Cleary are all tied. The runners-up are Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, Jordan Pereira, Brian Tu'o, Marcelo Montoya, Khan Pereira, Harry Grant and Angus Crichton. The People's Choice Award goes to Nathan Cleary. Captain of the Year is Mitch Barnett. The top try scorer is Marcelo Montoya with 18 tries, and the top point scorer is Mitch Barnett with 182 points. The Team of the Year, the fullback is Jaden Campbell, the winger Sunia Turuva, the centre Adam Pompey, the 5'8", Dylan Walker, the halfback Nathan Cleary, the prop Aden Fanua-Blake, the hooker Mitch Kenny, the second rower Jackson Ford, and the lock Tohu Harris. In the first week of the finals, we go down 16-14 to the Warriors, with Marcelo Montoya picking up player of the match. In the second week of the finals, we take on the Brisbane Broncos, and as you can see, our team is still unchanged from the first week. We go out in straight sets, losing to the Broncos 24 points to 2. The season had a lot of positives. I did not expect to make the top 8, let alone the top 4, so we'll move on better to next year. The two teams that beat us made it to the grand final, and the Brisbane Broncos win it 18-6, with Brandon Piakura picking up player of the match and Clyde Churchill medal. Congrats to him and the Broncos on winning the grand final. Some notable signings that happened this off-season: Kalen Ponga left the Knights and went to the Warriors. Isaac Tago left the Panthers and went to the Roosters. Kieran Foran left us and went to the Tigers. AJ Brimson left us to the Eels. Paul Roach left the Warriors to go to the Eels. Ryan Rivett left the Knights to go to the Storm. Tom Weaver left us to go to the Roosters. Zach Docker-Clay left the Roosters to go to the Panthers. Jesse Marsky went from the Dragons to the Broncos. K.O. Weeks went from the Raiders to the Broncos. Paul Turner went from the Dragons to the Cowboys. Heath Mason left the Tigers to the Storm. Trent Tolau left the Panthers to the Cowboys, and Harrison Graham left the Dolphins to the Sharks. This is our roster heading into the season. The fullbacks Jaden Campbell and Keanu Kinney. The wingers Jojo Fafita, Tony Francis, Lafiana Khan Pereira, Cameron Marlaw and Philip Sami. The centres Brian Kelly, Aaron Shoup and Harley Smith Shields. The halfback Tanner Boyd. The props Isaac Fasuo-Ma'awi, Tino Fasuo-Ma'awi, Moeki Fotuaika, Jamin Jolliffe and Keenan Palacia. The hookers Chris Randall and Sam Verrills. The second rowers Jacob Alec, Beau Fermor, David Fafita, Cleese Haas, Josiah Pahulu and Joe Stimson. The locks Aaron Clark and Isaac Liu. In round 1, we take on the Redcliffe Dolphins, and this is our team. At fullback Keanu Kinney, the wingers Philip Sami and Alafiana Khan Pereira. The centres Brian Kelly and Harley Smith Shields. The 5'8" Jaden Campbell. The halfback Chris Randall. The props Tino Fasuo-Ma'awi and Moeki Fotuaika. The hooker Sam Verrills. On the edges Dave Fafita and Beau Fermor. The lock Aaron Clark. On the bench Aaron Shoup, Isaac Fasuo-Ma'awi, Isaac Liu and Jamie Jolliffe. In round 1, we defeat the Redcliffe Dolphins 16 points to 2, with Chris Randall picking up player of the match. It's a great start to the season that's hopefully will be better than last season. In round 2, we take on the Sydney Roosters, and our team is pretty much the same, except Joe Stimson joins the bench, replacing the suspended Jimmy Jolliffe. Jimmy Jolliffe will miss the next 3 weeks with suspension. We pick up our second win of the season, defeating the Sydney Roosters by 14, 32 points to 18. Alofiana Khan-Pereira picks up player of the match with 3 tries. In round 3, we take on the St George Illawarra Dragons, and our team is pretty much unchanged, except Tanner Boyd comes back. He's replacing the suspended Chris Randall. Chris Randall will miss the next 2 games with suspension. We start the season off undefeated with a blowout win against the Dragons, 24 points to 0. David Fafita picking up player of the match. We're 10 games into the season. We're currently 3rd on the ladder with 12 points. We have 6 wins and 4 losses. We have points for of 193 and a points against of 156. We have a points differential of 37. We're at the end of the season. We're in 7th place. We have 30 points, 13 wins and 11 losses. We have a points for of 407 and a points against of 399. We have a points differential of 8. We really dropped off and dropped a lot of games in the middle part of the season, but we did finish strong, lucky enough to clinch our top 8 spot. In the first week of the finals, we take on the West Tigers, and our team look like this. At fullback Keanu Kinney, on the wings Alofiana Khan-Pereira and Philip Sami, the centres Brian Kelly and Harley Smith-Shields, the 5'8" Jaden Campbell, the halfback Tanner Boyd, the props Tino Fasuama'awi and Moeki Fotuaika, the hooker Sam Verrills, on the edges Dave Fafita and Bo Moore, with Aaron Clark at lock. On the bench we have Chris Randall, Isaac Fasuama'awi, Isaac Liu and Cleese Haas. Before the finals begin, the Daily M Awards are here. The Daily M Player of the Year goes to Dominic Young. The runners-up are Blake Wilson, Damien Cook, Sua Wong, Junior Tupou, Jacob Carraz, Corey Oates, Lachlan Ilias, Murray Taulagi, and Regan Campbell-Gillard. The People's Choice Award goes to Blake Wilson. The Captain of the Year goes to Campbell Graham. The top try scorer goes to Corey Oates with 17 tries, and the top point scorer goes to Dom Young with 195 points. The Team of the Year is the fullback James Tedesco, the winger Dom Young, the centre Jacob Carraz, the 5'8" Cody Nikarima, the halfback Lachlan Ilias, the prop Moeki Fotuaika, the hooker Jake Turpin, the second rower Sua Wong, and the lock Aaron Clark. We get our first finals win of the video with a win over the West Tigers, 16 points to 6. Harley Smith-Shields win player of the match. In the second round of the finals, we take on the Sydney Roosters, and as you can see, the team is still unchanged from last week. Hopefully we get the same result. We move on to the third round with a 13-point win over the Sydney Roosters, 19 points to 6. And Brian Kelly wins player of the match. In the third round of the finals, we take on the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and our team is still unchanged from the first 2 games. Hopefully we can get the same result as the first 2 games. And we can't. We go down to the Rabbitohs, 26 points to 18. Jai Arrow picking up player of the match. There was a lot of positives going into the season. We were the 7th seed and made it to the 3rd round. A lot of positives going into next year. We improved from last year, so hopefully next year will be even bigger improvement. The New Zealand Warriors go on to win the premiership. They beat the Rabbitohs 24 points to 4 in the grand final, with Sean Johnson picking up player of the match and the Clive Churchill medal. Congratulations to him and the Warriors for winning the premiership. Some notable signings for next season are Dylan Edwards, going to the Broncos. Nico Hines going to the Raiders. Junior Paulo going to the Knights. Joey Manu going to the Warriors. Tom Burgess going to the Dragons. Jackson Hastings going back to the Roosters. Josh King going to the Roosters. Daniel Saifidi going to the Raiders. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck going to Penrith. Sam Walker going to the Eels. Scott Drinkwater going to the Dolphins. Corey Horsburgh going to the Knights. Luke Keary going to the Sharks. Sean Lane going to the Sharks. Jeremiah Nanai going to the Sharks. Jacob Saifidi joining the Roosters, and Lindsay Smith joining the Cowboys. Our roster for this season: the fullbacks Jaden Campbell 93 overall, Keanu Kinney an 80 overall, the wingers Jojo Fafita 79, Tony Francis 75, Alofiana Khan-Pereira 88, Cam Marlow 79, and Philip Sami 89. The centres Brian Kelly 91 and Harley Smith-Shields 88, halfback Tanner Boyd 90, the props Isaac Fosuwama-Aui 88, Tino 95, Moeki Fotuaika 91, Jimmy Jolliffe 80, and Keenan Palacia 78. The hookers Chris Randall 80 and Sam Verrills 90. The second row was Jacob Alec 75, Weller Bravo 62, Beaufort 90, Dave Fafita 94, Khalees Haas 81, Josiah Pahulu 77, and Joe Stimson 81, with the lock Aaron Clark being a 90. In the first round, we play the West Tigers, and our team looks like this: a fullback Keanu Kinney, the wingers Alofiana Khan-Pereira and Philip Sami, the centers Brian Kelly and Harley Smith-Shields, the 5'8 Jaden Campbell with Tanner Boyd, the halfback, the props Tino Fasuwama-Aui and Moeki Fotuaika with Sam Verrills a hooker. On the edges, Dave Fafita and Beaufort with Aaron Clark at lock. On the bench, Chris Randall, Isaac Fasuwama-Aui, Jamin Jolliffe and Khalees Haas. We lose the first game of the season to the West Tigers 26 points to 16. Charlie Staines wins player of the match with 2 tries. In round 2 we play the Sydney Roosters, and as you can see the team list is still unchanged. Hopefully we get a better result than we did last week in a loss to the Tigers. And we don't. We go down 0-2 with a 22 points to 16 loss to the Roosters. Connor Watson picks up player of the match. In round 3 we take on the St. George Illawarra Dragons, and the team is still unchanged from the first 2 rounds. Luckily we've been lucky with injuries and suspensions, so we finally have a full team. And now that we finally have a full team, we drop the first 3 games of the season. We also lose to the Dragons 30 points to 20. Michaeli Ravalawa picks up player of the match, scoring 2 tries. We're 10 rounds into the competition and we're sitting on 12 points. We have a record of 6 wins and 4 losses. We have points for of 189 and a points against of 150, with a points differential of 39. We're in need of a 5'8", so I'm going to be offering Dylan Brown a $630,000 deal across 3 seasons. Let's hope he signs the contract. And he does. Dylan Brown will be joining our team for next season. It's the end of the season and we're sitting in second place on 34 points. We have 15 wins and 9 losses. We have points for 507 and a points against of 365. We have a points differential of 142. We have a home game in the first week of the finals against the Brisbane Broncos. In the first week of the finals, we take on the 3rd place Broncos, and our team looks like this. At fullback, Keanu Kinney. On the wings, Alofiana Khan-Pereira and Philip Sami. The centres, Brian Kelly and Harley Smith-Shields. The 5'8", Jaden Campbell with Tanner Boyd at halfback. The props, Tino Fasuwama-Aui and Moeki Fotuaika. Sam Verrills is the hooker. On the edges, Dave Fafita, Bo for more, Aaron Clark at lock. The interchange, Joe Stimson, Isaac Fasawa-Ma'awi, Jimmy Jolliffe and Cleese Haas. Before we get to the finals, the Daily M awards are here. The Daily M winner of the year goes to Alafiana Khan Pereira. The runners-up, Lachlan Ilias, Philip Sami, Junior Tupou, Ronaldo Mulatalo, Jacob Karaz, Jack Cole, Charlie Staines, Brandon Hands, and Kulikefu Funiaki. The People's Choice Award goes to Philip Sami. Captain of the Year goes to Jason Taumalolo. The top try scorer goes to Philip Sami. And the top point scorer goes to Junior Tupou. The Team of the Year, the fullback Keanu Kinney. The winger Philip Sami. The centre Harley Smith Shields. The 5'8 Jack Cole. The halfback Tanner Boyd. The prop Jason Taumalolo. The hooker Sam Verrills. The second rower David Fafita. And the lock Whenua Pole. We beat the Broncos 11 points to 4, with Maweki Fotuaika picking up player of the match. We're really looking forward to this bye heading into the second week of the finals. In round 3 of the finals, we take on the Sydney Roosters. And as you can see, the team list has still not changed from the first week. Hopefully we can get the same result as we did against the Broncos. And we can't. We go down to the Roosters 28 points to 24. Daniel Tupou picking up a double and the player of the match. Another promising year. Hopefully next year will be even better with the addition of Dylan Brown. We lost to the eventual champions. The Sydney Roosters win the grand final, defeating the Redcliffe Dolphins 30 points to 20 in the grand final. Isaac Tago picks up player of the match and the Clive Churchill medal. Congratulations to him and the Roosters for winning the premiership. Our roster heading into this season looks like this. The fullbacks Jaden Campbell, Keanu Kinney and Moses Watson. The wingers Jojo Fafita, Khan Pereira, Ken Mamalo and Philip Sami. The centers Brian Kelly and Harley Smith Shields. 5'8 Dylan Brown. The halfback Tanner Boyd. The props Isaac Fasawa-Ma'awi, Tino, Maweki Fotuaika, Jamin Jolliffe, Keenan Palacia and Oliver Whitelaw. The hookers Chris Randall and Sam Verrills. The second rowers Bo for more, David Fafita, Cleese Haas, Josiah Puhulu and Joe Stimson, and the lock Aaron Clark. In round 1 we take on New Zealand Warriors and our team looks like this. At fullback Jaden Campbell, on the wings Alafiana Khan Pereira and Philip Sami. The centers Brian Kelly and Harley Smith Shields. The 5'8 Dylan Brown with Tanner Boyd at halfback. The props Tino Fasawa-Ma'awi and Maweki Fotuaika with Sam Verrills at hooker. On the edges Dave Fafita and Bo Famore with Aaron Clark at lock. On the bench Keanu Kinney, Cleese Haas, Isaac Fasawa-Ma'awi and Jamin Jolliffe. In the first game of the season, we draw with the New Zealand Warriors 20 points to 20, with Bo Famore picking up player of the match. In round 2, we take on last place Brisbane Broncos. And the only change made is Dylan Brown is out with injury, so Keanu Kinney shifts on the bench to fullback. Jaden Campbell moves from fullback to 5'8 and Chris Randall joins the bench. Otherwise, it's the exact same team as last week. Hopefully we can get the same result or better. And we can. We beat the Broncos 24 points to 20. Isaiah Papali'i wins player of the match from the losing side. In round 3, we take on 8th placed Penrith Panthers. And a couple changes made again. Dylan Brown comes back from injury, slotting into the 5'8 position. Jaden Campbell moves back to fullback. Keanu Kinney moves back to the bench. And unfortunately, Chris Randall is out for the game. We get our second win of the season, defeating the Penrith Panthers 29 points to 22. Sam Verrills picks up player of the match. We're 10 rounds into the competition. We're currently sitting in third position with 13 points. We have 6 wins, 3 losses and a draw. We have a points for of 177 and a points against 164. We have a points differential of 13. It's the end of the season and we're sitting in second place with 33 points. We have 14 wins, 1 draw and 9 losses. We have a points for of 438 and a points against of 390. We have a points differential of 48. We have a home game in the first week of the finals against the Sydney Roosters. We play the Sydney Roosters in the first week of the finals, and this is how our team looks. A fullback, Jaden Campbell, the wingers Philip Sami and Khan Pereira, the centers Brian Kelly and Harley Smith-Shields, the 5'8 Dylan Brown with Tanner Boyd a halfback, the props Tino and Mikey Fortueka with Sam Verrills at hooker, on the edges David Feeder and Beau Fermor with Aaron Clark at lock, on the bench Keanu Kinney, Jamin Jolliffe, Isaac Fasuama'awi, and replacing the injured Joe Stimson, Cleese Haas. Before the season begins, the Daily M Awards are here. The Daily M Player of the Year is Lachlan Ilias. The runners-up are Sione Katoa, Justin Olem, Will Warbrick, Brandon Hands, Josh King, Kyle Felt, Jesse McLean, Albert Hopewadi, and Siosifa Talakai. The People's Choice Award goes to Justin Olem. Captain of the Year is Lachlan Ilias. The top try scorer, Sione Katoa with 16, and the top point scorer is Micah Zevo with 157 points. The Team of the Year, the fullback, Ryan Pappenhausen, the winger, Jesse McLean, the centre, Joseph Suali'i, the 5'8", Simi Sasagi, the halfback, Sam Walker, the prop, David Clemmer, the hooker, Lachlan Ilias, the second rower, Tui Kamikamika, and the lock, Josh King. We get the win in the first week of the finals, 18 points to 14 against the Sydney Roosters. Elofiana Khan Pereira wins player of the match with a double. We're looking forward to the week off next week, hoping to be recharged heading in to week 3 of the finals. In the third round of the finals, we take on the Parramatta Eels, and the team is unchanged from 2 weeks ago. Hopefully we can get the same result with another win and go to the grand final. And we can't. We get eliminated in the third round, going down to the Eels, 24 points to 14. Regan Campbell-Gillard picks up player of the match. The Eels go in to win the premiership, defeating the Roosters 20 points to 18 in the grand final. Christian Welch on the losing team wins the Clive Churchill medal and the player of the match. So congrats to him and congrats to the Eels on winning the premiership. Some notable player movements heading into next year are Ryan Pappenhausen is going to the Knights, Hamiso is going to the Bulldogs, Matt Timoko is going to the Sharks, Mitch Barnett is going to the Bulldogs, AJ Brimson is going to the Dragons, Jack DeBellin is going to the Dolphins, Stafford Toa is going to the Knights, Chad Townsend is going back to the Sharks, Dallin Watene-Selesniak is going to the Dolphins, Josh Adokar is going to the Panthers, Jack Hetherington is going to the Storm, Corey Horsburgh is going to the Raiders, Sean Lane is going to the Broncos, Jordan McLean is going to the Rabbits, Toby Rudolph is going to the Eels, Fletcher Sharp is going to the Storm, and Connor Watson going to the Panthers. Our roster heading into year 5 looks like this. The fullbacks, Jaden Campbell, 93 overall, Keanu Kinney, 90 overall, and Moses Watson, 61 overall. The wingers, Jojo Fafita, 79 overall, Alofiana Khan Pereira, 88 overall, Kemma Marlaw, 80 overall, and Philip Sami, 89 overall. The centers Brian Kelly, 91, and Harley Smith Shields, 89 overall. The 5'8", Dylan Brown, 92 overall. The halfback Tanner Boyd, 90 overall. The props Isaac Fasua Ma'awi, 88 overall. Tino, 95 overall. Mweki Fochueka, 91. Jimmy Jolliffe, 89. Keenan Palacia, 81. And Oliver Whitelaw, 66. The hookers Chris Randall, 81 overall. And Sam Verrills, 90 overall. The second rowers Beau Fermor, 90 overall. David Fafita, 94. Cleese Haas, 87. Josiah Puhulu, 77. And Joe Stimson, 87. With the lock Aaron Clark at a 90. In round 1, we take on the Penrith Panthers, and our team looks like this. At fullback, Jaden Campbell. On the wings, Alofiana Khan Pereira and Philip Sami. The centers, Brian Kelly and Harley Smith Shields. The 5'8", Dylan Brown. Tanner Boyd at halfback. Tino Fasuama'awi, the captain, at prop. And the other prop, Mweki Fochueka, with Chris Randall at hooker. On the edges, David Fafita and Beau Fermor, with Aaron Clark at lock. On the bench, Keanu Kinney, Isaac Fasuluma'awi, Jamin Jolliffe, and Cleese Haas. We go down to the Panthers in round 1, 18 points to 14, Kyle Felt picking up player of the match. In round 2, we take on the Canberra Raiders, and the team is pretty much exact same, except Sam Verrill comes back from injury, replaces Chris Randall, who's out of the team. We pick up a 2-point win in round 2 over the Raiders, 26 points to 24, with Jemet Shibasaki from the losing team wins player of the match. He scores 2 tries. In round 3, we take on the first place Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and as you can see, the team list is still the exact same as last week. Hopefully we can get the same result as we did against first place team, and we can. We'll defeat the Bulldogs 10 points to 0, with Jaden Campbell picking up player of the match in a low scoring game. We're 10 rounds into the season. We sit in 6th place on 12 points. We have 6 wins and 4 losses. We have a points for of 171 and a points against of 148. We have a points differential of plus 23. In round 4, we lost to the Cowboys 20 points to 30. In round 5, we beat the Warriors 28-0. In round 6, we beat the Sharks 12-2. In round 7, we beat the Storm 26-24. In round 8, we beat the Tigers 15-8. In round 9, we lost to the Dragons 12-4. And in round 10, we lost to the Bulldogs 30-16. We're at the end of the season, and we're sitting in 3rd place on 36 points. We have 16 wins and 8 losses. We have a points for of 457 and a points against of 366. We have a points differential of 91. Our biggest win of the season was in round 5 when we beat the New Zealand Warriors 28-0. And our biggest loss was the last game of the season, where we lost to the Roosters 26 points to 6 by 20 points. We played the Dolphins in the first week of the finals, and our team looks like this. At fullback, Jaden Campbell. On the wings, Alofiana Khan Pereira and Philip Sami. The centers, Brian Kelly and Harley Smith Shields. The 5'8", Dylan Brown. Tanner Boyd at halfback. The props, Tino Fasuama'awi, the captain, and Mweki Fochueka, with Sam Verrills at hooker. On the edges, Dave Fafita and Beau Fermor, with Aaron Clark at lock. On the bench, we have Jamin Jolliffe Isaac Fasuama'awi, Keanu Kinney and Joe Stimson. Before we get to the finals, the Daily M Awards are here, and the Daily M Player of the Year goes to Edric Lee. The runners-up are Alex Johnston, Harrison Hassett, Scott Weiler, Brian Kelly, Harley Smith-Shields, Junior Tupou, Kyle Felt, Jacob Preston and Blake Wilson. The People's Choice Award goes to Brian Kelly. The Captain of the Year goes to Jason Taumalolo. The top try scorer goes to Michael Asumua with 18, and the top point scorer goes to Braden Trindle with 166 points. The Team of the Year, the fullback Scott Drinkwater, the winger Edric Lee, the centre Harley Smith-Shields, the 5'8" Jordan Lilly, the halfback Braden Trindle, the prop Mark Nichols, the hooker Kurt Donohoe, the second rower Harrison Hassett, and the lock Josh Curran. We win the first week of the finals, defeating the Dolphins 18 points to 12, with Brian Kelly picking up a double and the player of the match. We move on past next week and into the third week of the finals. After our week off, we play the Melbourne Storm in round 3 of the finals, and as you can see, our team list is still unchanged from the first week win. We get a big 18-point win, 34 points to 16 against the Storm. Dylan Brown picks up player of the match and a double. Hopefully we can carry this momentum into the grand final and finally win it for the first time in the club's history. We take on the Penrith Panthers in the grand final, and this is how we look. At fullback Jaden Campbell, on the wings Alofiana Khan-Pereira and Philip Sami, the centres Brian Kelly and Harley Smith-Shields, the 5'8" Dylan Brown with Tanner Boyd at halfback, the props Tino Fasuama'awi and Moeki Fotuaika with Sam Verrills at hooker. On the edges, Dave Fafita, Bo Famore and Aaron Clark at lock. On the bench, Keanu Kinney, Isaac Fasuama'awi, Jamin Jolliffe and Joe Stimson. We finally did it. We win the grand final, defeating the Penrith Panthers 18 points to 16. Blake Taaffe, in a losing team, wins player of the match and the Clive Churchill Medal. Congratulations to him on winning the Clive Churchill Medal, but congrats to us on winning the premiership. And that's going to end this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and comment which team you'd like me to rebuild next.